In the grand hall of Sinclair Mansion, shadows danced to the rhythm of flickering candles as Lady Eleanor Sinclair silently observed her children. Her blue eyes, as icy as the marble that adorned the mansion's walls, betrayed the tension hanging in the air. Alexander, the eldest, was elegantly dressed, his haughty demeanor denoting the confidence that came from years of privilege. Charlotte, the middle daughter, watched with a resigned expression, accustomed to being overshadowed by her brother. Sebastian, the youngest, had a sharp gaze, as if constantly on the lookout for some missed opportunity. As the family gathered around the crackling fireplace, Lady Eleanor felt the weight of her secret pressing down on her shoulders. Since her children's infancy, she had favored Alexander, nurturing his ego and ambition while neglecting the desires and needs of the others. But now, as twilight fell over the mansion, she began to question her choices. Had her partiality created a monster in her eldest son? Had Charlotte and Sebastian been irreparably harmed by her neglect? As the fire crackled and popped, Lady Eleanor felt a resolve growing within her. It was time to confront the secret she had kept buried for so long. It was time to face the consequences of her choices and seek redemption before it was too late. With a heavy sigh, she rose from her chair and faced her children with determination. The truth was about to be revealed, and the fate of the Sinclair family would never be the same. As the years passed in the majestic Sinclair mansion, the signs of Lady Eleanor's favoritism became more tangible with each passing day. Her eldest son, Alexander, was like the sun in her personal solar system, radiating with the light of privilege and maternal attention. He was adorned with the finest gifts, bespoke garments, and meticulously cultivated opportunities for his success. Every step Alexander took was celebrated, every achievement praised as a feat. Meanwhile, Charlotte and Sebastian were relegated to the shadows that Alexander cast. Charlotte, with her delicate beauty and sharp intellect, often found herself sighing through the corridors, longing for a glimpse of the light that shone upon her brother. Sebastian, with his silent determination and keen eyes, watched with a mixture of admiration and resentment as Alexander was cloaked in a mantle of privilege. Resentment, like a subtle poison, began to seep into the hearts of Charlotte and Sebastian, feeding off perceived injustice and unexpressed desire for recognition and maternal love. Every approving glance directed at Alexander was like a punch to the gut, increasingly difficult to bear. And so, the atmosphere in Sinclair Mansion became tense, a minefield of unspoken emotions and silent rivalries, where every word was measured and every gesture analyzed for signs of favoritism. When fate cast its shadow over Sinclair Mansion, the rumor of Alexander's death spread like sinister smoke, enveloping the family in a veil of shock and despair. The solitary echo of his footsteps would never again be heard through the polished corridors, and his absence cast the mansion into a heavy silence, interrupted only by Lady Eleanor's muffled sobs. Charlotte and Sebastian, now shrouded in a fog of disbelief and mourning, were struck by a storm of questioning. What caused their brother's sudden death? What lurked in the shadows of that fateful night? Suspicion whispered in their ears, like a chilly breeze, suggesting that Alexander's fate was far from innocent. As moonlight painted the mansion in shades of silver, Charlotte and Sebastian gathered in secret, sharing looks laden with determination and mistrust. Together, they began to unravel the tangled threads of mystery, following a trail of obscure clues and fragmented memories in their quest for the truth. Every hidden shadow in the dark corners of the mansion seemed to whisper an unrevealed secret, every step taking them deeper into the web of intrigue surrounding Alexander's death. And so, as the stars twinkled above, Charlotte and Sebastian plunged into the depths of the unknown, determined to uncover the truth behind their brother's demise. As Charlotte and Sebastian delved deeper into the investigation, the buried secrets beneath Sinclair Mansion's foundations begin to wriggle like ancient roots seeking the light of day. Each piece of the puzzle reveals a darker image of the eldest son, Alexander, a portrait stained by greed and corruption. They discover that behind Alexander's impeccable facade lay dangerous connections and shady dealings, where the boundaries between legal and illegal dissolved like shadows in the darkness. He manipulated his mother with the skill of a master, playing with her emotions like pieces on a board, all in pursuit of power and wealth. Lady Eleanor, once so confident in her blind devotion to her eldest son, now finds herself confronted with the cruel mirror of truth. The veil covering the eyes of her heart begins to unravel, revealing the bitter truth she had refused to see. The son she had favored so excessively was not the hero she imagined, but rather a disguised villain, manipulating her for his own nefarious ends. The devastation that befalls Lady Eleanor is like an unrelenting storm, dragging with it the illusions she had woven around herself. She finds herself confronted with the consequences of her choices, each one more painful than the last. But amidst the darkness threatening to engulf her, a glimmer of hope begins to shine, the promise of redemption that may still be possible if she has the courage to face the demons of the past. With the premature death of Alexander, Charlotte and Sebastian are engulfed in a whirlwind of conflicting emotions, mourning the loss of their brother, yet also a spark of hope for a new chance, an opportunity long awaited to emerge from the shadows in which they have been kept for so long. As Sinclair Mansion echoes with the solemn silence of Alexander's absence, the siblings find themselves in a moment of rare unity. Confronted with the reality that they are now the sole heirs of the family, they feel the weight of responsibility bearing down on their shoulders, but also a fierce determination not to let the Sinclair legacy be tainted by the dark past. Together, they plunge into the depths of the family's hidden secrets, unraveling the tangled threads of lies and betrayals that Alexander left behind. Every clue discovered is like a crucial piece of a complex puzzle, and they dedicate themselves tirelessly to assembling the complete picture, determined to expose the truth behind the masks of falsehood that have long obscured the Sinclair inheritance. As they work together, Charlotte and Sebastian discover an inner strength they never knew they possessed, a courage that propels them forward even as they face the darkest abysses of their family's past. United by the bond of blood and the shared desire for justice, they embark on a journey of self-discovery and redemption, determined to prove themselves worthy of the Sinclair name, not just by right of birth, but by their own merit. As events unfold at Sinclair Mansion, Lady Eleanor finds herself in a whirlwind of conflicting emotions, a furious storm threatening to drag her into the depths of her own soul. Confronted with the revelation of her eldest son's true character, she finds herself facing the cruel mirror of truth, forced to confront the thorns she herself planted in her family garden. Every choice she made over the years, every time she favored Alexander over Charlotte and Sebastian, now haunts her like a silent ghost, whispering dark secrets in her ear. She wonders if she could have prevented the dark fate that befell her family if she had been more attentive, more compassionate, more of a mother to all her children, not just the chosen one. As she struggles to digest the bitter truth of her own failures as a mother, Lady Eleanor finds herself compelled to reconnect with the children she neglected, to extend a trembling hand of forgiveness and reconciliation amidst the whirlwind of emotions consuming her. At the climax of the story, when the light of truth finally seems to shine upon the Sinclairs, a sinister shadow emerges from the grave. Alexander, the lost son believed to be dead, returns from the depths of the beyond, his presence like a sharpened knife cutting through the fragile hopes of his siblings. The shocking revelation that Alexander faked his own death to escape the consequences of his debts and manipulations is like a lightning bolt tearing through the dark night sky, leaving Charlotte and Sebastian in a state of shock and disbelief. Now, they must face not only the buried secrets of the past, but also the vengeful specter of a brother who has returned from the dead to reclaim what he believes is rightfully his. On a stage set with the rubble of the past, Charlotte and Sebastian stand before the brother they thought lost forever. The atmosphere is charged with the electricity of destiny, every breath a battle between fear and courage, between the light of truth and the shadow of secrecy. Their eyes meet those of Alexander, now transformed into a dark figure of resentment and vengeance. Every line of his face is a testament to the battles he has fought, the scars he carries, and his gaze is like the blade of a sword, ready to cut through the illusions Charlotte and Sebastian have tried to erect around themselves. In a duel of wills and emotions, the siblings confront their past with fierce determination, every word exchanged like an arrow shot against the invisible enemy that haunts them. They know that their fate is in their hands, that they must prove not only their physical strength, but also their strength of spirit, their resilience in the face of the storms that surround them. Meanwhile, Lady Eleanor finds herself before her lost son, her heart heavy with the weight of her own sins. She faces Alexander with the courage of a warrior who has finally found her redemption, her blue eyes shining with the light of truth she has long sought. She acknowledges the mistakes of the past, the choices she made that led to this tragic crossroads, and she kneels before Alexander with humility, with the hope that he may find mercy in his heart to forgive her. And together, mother and son, they face the future with renewed courage, ready to leave behind the rubble of the past and build a new beginning, a new legacy based on love and truth. In the epilogue of this saga of intrigue and redemption, Sinclair Mansion is bathed in the light of dawn, its towers rising majestic against the blue sky like silent sentinels of a new era. The corridors once shrouded in shadows now resonate with the joyful echo of voices united in harmony, and the lush gardens bloom with the promise of a new beginning. The Sinclair family, once torn apart by divisions and dark secrets, now stands as a bastion of unity and strength. Charlotte, Sebastian, and Lady Eleanor, united by the invisible thread of destiny, embrace in a warm hug, their scars from the past silent witnesses to their shared trials. They no longer hide behind masks of falsehood and deceit, but instead face the future hand in hand, with courage and determination. The hidden legacy of the family, once seen as an inescapable curse, is now viewed as an opportunity for rebirth, for growth, and reinvention. And so, as the sun rises over Sinclair Mansion, casting its golden rays over the lush gardens and the united hearts of the family, they march into the future with renewed hope. For they have learned that, although the past may have been tainted by the shadows of error and deception, the dawn always brings with it the promise of a new day, a new beginning, a new chance to love and live in truth. How did you feel as you followed this exciting saga of the Sinclair family? What did you think of the twists and turns and the conclusion of the story? Leave your comment, like if you enjoyed it, and share your impressions.